Having an affair is unforgivable. You can't get away with this.
Don't be angry. This is so not my fault. Don't try to blame me for everything. You're not making any sense.
Huh?
All you do is work. You have no time for your family. You're to blame for what happened.
Trouble Busters! My name is Melanie. I'm a 39-year-old pediatrician. Ever since I was a child, it was my dream to become a doctor. By the time I was in high school, I understand how hard it would be to become a doctor, and that even if I became one, I would have to prioritize time with my patients over my personal life. But I was intent on becoming a doctor, and I managed to get into a local medical school. After graduating medical school, I worked as a doctor in training under a very busy schedule.
Hi, Melanie. You don't stop working, do you? There's never a day that I don't see you working at the hospital. You look like you haven't slept in days. I can see the dark circles under your eyes.
Hi, Kevin. There's no need for you to worry about me. I love working. I can't wait to finish my training and have my very own patients. Kevin worked for a pharmaceutical company and would often visit the hospital for work. After a while, he asked me out and we started dating. Being a very busy doctor in training, we barely had time to see each other, but I was happy to have him as my boyfriend. And Kevin was patient with me. And when I turned 30, we got married. We were blessed with a daughter soon after. Kevin, I'm going to be home late tonight. I'm really busy with work. I'm on the night shift, so don't wait up for me. I'll be home by tomorrow lunchtime.
Okay, leave the baby to me. Don't work too hard. I feel like you're always on the night shift. I'm worried that you're being overworked.
I'm so grateful that you're home with the baby and taking care of the house. That's why I can concentrate on work, so thank you. You're the perfect husband.
I like staying at home with our child. You're the perfect wife, too.
Work is busy, but I'm happy to have a beautiful family to come home to every day.
I'm so happy that I married you. Thank you for working so hard to support our family. I need to go now because I need to go feed Helen.
Okay, see you tomorrow then.
Yep, see you.
I was very busy with work, so Kevin offered to quit his job and stay home with our daughter Helen. I was really grateful because it meant that I didn't have to give up my dream of becoming a doctor. But 2 years into our marriage, something unexpected and terrible happened. Kevin, we need to talk.
What is it, Melanie?
Are you having an affair?
Where's this coming from? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Is it someone you used to work with? I saw you two out for a walk the other day, and then I saw you go into a hotel together.
Oh, you saw that? Okay, you weren't supposed to find out. It's not a problem, is it? You're so busy with work anyway.
What's that supposed to mean? We have a child together. I don't think it's acceptable for you to take on a lover. What were you thinking?
Well, you're so busy with work, and you don't have any time for me. I had to go find affection elsewhere. It's not a big deal.
Having an affair is unforgivable. You can't get away with this.
Don't be angry. This is so not my fault. Don't try to blame me for everything. You're not making any sense.
Huh?
All you do is work. You have no time for your family. You're to blame for what happened. You have no right to act like the victim. I'm home by myself taking care of our baby all day.
Do you know how ridiculous you sound right now? You're acting like a complete asshole.
I'm the asshole? You're one to talk. I want out. I don't want to stay in this loveless marriage anymore. I'm divorcing you.
What? You're leaving me?
Yep. I no longer feel any affection for you. Let's fill out the divorce papers now.
Wait, let's talk about this before we make a big mistake. What's going to happen to Helen if we get divorced? She needs both of her parents by her side. She'll miss having a father if you leave us.
I'm taking her with me. You're too busy with work and you don't know how to raise a child. Even if we're married, I'm the only one taking care of Helen.
You have a point, but...
So it makes sense for me to gain sole custody of Helen. I won't let you take Helen from me.
Helen is my daughter too. You can't separate me from her.
Even if we go to court, they'll see that I've been raising her on my own all this time. You're too busy with work to raise Helen by yourself. The court will totally take my side.
You're right about me being busy with work, but...
Realistically speaking, it makes sense for me to live with Helen. With your parents gone, you have no one to support you in raising Helen.
All right, I understand. But you will still allow me to see Helen from time to time, right? She needs a mother too.
I'll allow that.
It wasn't what I wanted, but I gave in and agreed to the divorce. I also gave him full custody of Helen, which is what Kevin asked for. I could have sued Kevin for cheating on me, but I didn't want to put any financial strain on him, seeing that he would be taking care of Helen. We had our lawyers create agreements on how we would raise Helen together, even though I wouldn't be living with her. I was permitted to see Helen once a month under Kevin's supervision. But after our divorce was finalized, I wasn't able to get in touch with Kevin. He went MIA.
What do you want? Can you stop calling me? I'm busy.
You didn't bring Helen to our monthly visit the other day. I'm going to involve my lawyer if you don't let me see Helen as promised. I still have the right to sue you for cheating on me.
You can see Helen next month. We're busy this month.
We agreed on paper that you would let me see Helen once a month. You have no right to deny me of that.
Aren't you busy with work? You can't always make time for each other. There will be months when you won't be able to see Helen.
I feel like you're telling me that you're busy because you don't want me to see Helen. If you don't let me see Helen, I'm going to stop sending child support payments.
That's outrageous. You promised to help raise Helen financially. That's the least that you could do.
Then you need to let me see Helen. I'm her mother and I have every right to see her. I'll make the next payment after seeing Helen.
Are you threatening me? You're unbelievable. Or are you just strapped for cash?
I have plenty of money.
Fine. I'll arrange for a time for us to meet, so make sure that you continue to make us the payments.
Will do. I look forward to seeing Helen then. But Kevin broke his promise and would come up with an excuse to cancel my appointment to see Helen at the last minute. I was only able to see Helen every 6 months. While Helen was attending preschool, she was a happy child, but once she started elementary school, she was a different person altogether. She became very quiet and mostly kept to herself. Hey, sweetie, how have you been? Are you having a nice time at school? I'm good. Do you want to eat out with me at a restaurant of your choice today? We can go for sushi, Korean barbecue, French, you name it. Yes, that sounds good. Are you okay? I feel like you're not yourself today. I'm fine. Okay, well, let me know if you ever want to talk. I was worried about Helen. She barely spoke when I saw her, and it seemed like something was bothering her. I asked Kevin about her, but he said that Helen was not enjoying school and that it wasn't a big deal. It was my first time becoming a mother, and because I only got to see Helen every 6 months, I didn't know what to do. The next time I saw Helen, though, she said something shocking to me. Hi, Helen. I'm so happy to see you. Look how tall you've become. Yes. Do you want to do some shopping together? Is there anything that you want? I don't need anything. Do you want to go to a cafe or something then? Or we can go for some ice cream? No, I'm fine. I see. Where should we go?
Just let her be. We don't have to do anything special. I think she's nervous around you. She barely knows you, so...
No, I wouldn't want Helen to feel uncomfortable around me. I don't want to continue seeing you anymore. I don't enjoy spending time with you. Why do I have to see you? I don't live with you. You're not family. Please don't ask to see me anymore. I'm sorry you feel this way. Could you please tell me why you feel this way? I can't understand unless you tell me how you're feeling. Did I do something wrong? Well...
Now that you know how Helen really feels, I think that you should leave her alone.
Let Helen speak for herself.
Do you want the truth? Helen doesn't like the way you smell.
Huh?
Do you even bathe? You reek so much, it makes us sick.
Well, I came straight from night shift, so...
You could have at least put on some perfume. No wonder you smell so bad. I can recommend some trendy perfumes if you like.
I already have a signature scent, thank you very much.
Well, you should spray yourself with that perfume then, because it's not hiding your hideous smell. I understand why I don't love you anymore.
I'm not here to talk about which perfume I use.
Well, now you know that Helen doesn't love you. So let's finish up and say goodbye.
I tried to get Helen to open up about how she was feeling, but she wouldn't speak to me. I was devastated, being rejected by my own daughter. This was probably the most difficult thing that I've ever had to deal with in my entire life. Kevin then said to me,
Helen, are you ready to go home now?
"Wait."
Let's leave this pathetic doctor, who also happens to be your mother, here. Melanie, we're leaving now. Helen no longer wants to continue seeing you.
Maybe she's just nervous. Give her a little more time. I only get to see her every 6 months.
No, she definitely doesn't want to spend time with you. Besides, you're a terrible mother to her. All you do is work. You can't get her to like you in such a short period of time.
That's because...
You don't deserve to be Helen's mother. I feel sorry for your patients. I mean, their pediatrician doesn't know how to raise their own child.
Can you stop blaming me for everything? My job has nothing to do with how I am as a mother.
Well, your job is to take care of children, but you can't even look after your own daughter. You should know exactly how Helen is feeling right now. She resents that you always prioritize work over family.
Are you putting words in her mouth?
No, I'm merely stating the facts. It's difficult for Helen to tell you how she's really feeling. She doesn't even consider you to be her mother.
Will you just shut up? I'm proud to be a doctor, and I did what I can for my family as well. You knew that I was going to be busy, and you're the one that offered to stay at home. And then you broke your vows and cheated on me.
So you're saying that I'm the one to blame then?
You say I'm a terrible mother, but you're the one that took Helen away from me. If we hadn't got divorced, I'd been able to spend more time with her. I'm finally at the point in my career where I'm senior enough to not work ridiculous hours. There's an after-school childcare facility at the hospital, so I can take care of Helen now while still working at the hospital. In fact, I'd like sole custody of Helen.
Well, you can't do that. And don't you just hear Helen say that she doesn't love you?
But I'm her mother. We'll work it out.
So you're going to force Helen to live with you against her will? Do you want her to be unhappy?
I'm not.
You're so desperate. You can't force your daughter to love you. Will you just give in and accept that Helen doesn't want to spend time with you? I think we've made Helen wait here long enough. We're leaving now.
After that, Kevin left, taking Helen with him. I was still shocked that Helen told me that she didn't love me. I didn't have work that day, so I went home and sulked. The next day I had to work, but I still felt terrible. People at work noticed that I was off my game. I told one of my colleagues about what happened. My colleague tried to soothe me by telling me that I had every right to be upset, and that she could see how much I cared for Helen. My colleague said that she couldn't understand why Helen would say such a thing to me and that she was worried about Helen's well-being. She suggested that I check to see that Helen was doing okay at school, or perhaps that there were problems at home with Kevin. I gave Kevin a call to check up on Helen. Kevin, I'd like you to let me see Helen once more.
Didn't you get the message the last time that we met? She doesn't want to see you. Stop harassing us!
If you're not going to let me see her, I'm going to stop sending the child support payments.
So you're threatening me again. I can't believe that your job is to rescue people while you're putting unnecessary pressure on your own family. Fine, have it your way. We'll see you at the beginning of next month.
Kevin then hung the phone up on me. I was relieved that he had agreed to let me see Helen again. Following month, I went to see Helen and Kevin. But like last time, Helen wouldn't look or speak to me. Kevin tried to rub it in my face that he was right about how Helen was feeling towards me. I wanted to find a way to connect to Helen, but it seemed impossible.
Can we go now? I think it's clear that Helen has nothing to say to you.
Can you please give me a little more time?
Time isn't going to resolve anything. Ouch! What's happening?
Kevin, are you all right? Are you feeling pain in your stomach?
I might have food poisoning. I'm going to be sick. I need the toilet.
All of a sudden, I was alone with Helen. Helen, would you mind telling me what's on your mind? I'd really like to get to know you better. But we're alone now, so you can tell me how you're really feeling without worrying about hurting your dad's feelings. Well, actually, I can't say anything. I'm sorry, but I can't talk about this with you. Helen, I wish you would rely on me more. I sensed that there was something wrong between Helen and Kevin, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I tried to get Helen to open up to me by talking about other topics like school and her friends, but she didn't say anything about what was happening at home. I knew that Helen was passionate about art, so I asked her if she'd been drawing lately. Helen smiled and showed me one of her recent drawings. Look at what I drew. Let's see. Is this what I think it is? Are you trying to ask me for help by showing me this drawing? I tried to get Helen to tell me what was going on, but unfortunately Kevin came back from the toilet. Helen folded the drawing and shoved it into one of my pockets before Kevin could see it. She then went back to ignoring me. I went home and scrutinized the drawing that Helen gave me. I also thought about what the cryptic message that she wrote on the drawing meant. After deciphering the message, I saw that it was a cry for help from Helen, just as I had thought. I knew that I had to do everything in my power to save Helen from the undesirable situation that she was in. And I was going to make sure that Kevin got the punishment that he so deserved. Troublebusters.
Melanie, what the hell are you doing on my doorstep? Couldn't you have just called me? You couldn't wait to see me until next month? I hope that you're not stalking me.
I'm here to see Helen.
You already saw her this month. You need to wait until next month. I can inform the court that you're not following the rules. Then, you won't be able to see Helen at all.
You're the one that's going to get in trouble with the court.
You have a funny sense of humor. But you're not funny!
Take a look at this. This is evidence that you've been leaving our 8-year-old child alone every day at home for hours. I had a private investigator confirm this over the last few days.
What the hell? You really are stalking me!
And I can't forgive you for smoking in front of Helen.
How much do you know?
I know everything, so don't try to deny the facts.
Damn!
I won't forgive you for what you did to Helen. How can you leave Helen at home by yourself while you gamble and party every night?
What's wrong with a little gambling and partying?
A little? There are times you don't even come home. What if something bad happens to Helen? You're so irresponsible. You don't buy Helen the things that she needs. Where did the money I sent go? You're depriving her.
You have it all wrong.
I also have testimonies from your neighbors confirming the facts. I'm going to sue the hell out of you.
You can't be serious. I'm not going to forgive Helen for ratting me out.
This is so not Helen's fault. She's only a child. Besides, she didn't say anything to me about this.
Then how did you find out?
I saw one of Helen's drawings and figured it out. She gave me one of her drawings while you were in the toilet at the park the other day, and I figured it all out.
I didn't think that Helen was smart enough to pull a trick like this.
You're a complete idiot, you know that? Any medical professional can see from her drawing that Helen is in deep distress. And you're the cause of her stress. Helen didn't have to say a word to me. I found out on my own.
Well, I guess you're smarter than you look. And being a doctor paid off for once.
I lost my parents at a young age, so I know what a dysfunctional family can do to a young child. That's why I studied and trained to become a pediatrician, so that I could help young children that needed medical support. I also studied child psychology at the university.
Are you trying to make me feel bad or something? Don't act like a hero.
I'm glad that I found out before it was too late. Children don't always ask for help through their words. You need to observe them carefully and look for other signs, too.
What's your point? And there's nothing wrong with me spending Helen's child support payments as her father.
I sent that money so that you could raise Helen properly and give her the things that she needs as a child. You weren't supposed to spend it on gambling and partying.
Helen is 8 years old now. She can do things on her own. She's more independent than you think. Besides, why are you placing all the blame on me? You're her parent too. You never participated in raising Helen, so you're just as guilty.
I knew that you would try to blame this on me and run away from taking any sort of responsibility.
What I'm saying makes perfect sense.
Do you not see the gravity of what you've done to Helen? This is no joke. I'm going to get the court to grant me sole custody of Helen, and I'm not sending any more child support payments, seeing that you're spending the money on yourself and not Helen.
You can't do that. What makes you think that the court will grant you custody of Helen? Your track record as a mother isn't exactly stellar.
If that's how you want to play it, please, come in.
Huh? Don't move. You have the right to remain silent. The police?
You didn't think that I'd come prepared? You don't know me at all. The police officer has been listening in on our conversation the entire time, so you can't lie yourself out of this one.
You framed me!
I wouldn't have had to play this dirty trick if you'd owned up to what you did. Besides, I didn't want Helen to see you getting arrested. But now you're being charged with blackmail, too.
You bitch!
So I'm not the only one that you call a bitch, then.
What are you doing here?
I see that you're not only a lousy boyfriend, but a lousy father to Helen. You can't leave her at home by herself while you're out partying.
You got it all wrong. I didn't know such thing.
I don't think so.
Don't you know how much I love you? You know that, don't you?
I don't. And I don't think that I'll ever love you again. I was fooled by your charm at first, but not anymore. I'm leaving you. See you never.
You can't do that to me!
The police officer took Kevin to the police station. He was found guilty for his crimes. After I cut off the child support payments, Kevin was penniless because he didn't have a job of his own. Since he assumed that I would continue to make the payments to him, he didn't have any savings either, and spent all of his money on parties. He really had a hard time finding a job, because he hadn't worked for so long. When we got divorced, Kevin had promised in writing that he wouldn't use the child support payments for his own benefit. So now, as he had broken his promise, he was obliged to pay back the money to me. As for me, I was elated because Helen and I were living together again. At first, Helen was anxious and would cling on to me all day, but now she's back to being her happy self. Helen pursued her passion of drawing, and her artworks became happy ones, not the tormented ones that she had created while still living with Kevin. Troublebusters.